Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Prashant and in this video we will talk about the Project Readiness Assessment of TCS, that is PRA. Now this video is for the Java batch where we will talk about especially for the coding section. Now in the PRA there are two sections. First one is the MCQ and the second one is the coding section. Now in the MCQ there are 30 questions for 30 minutes and each MCQ question holds the 1 marks. So in total there are 30 marks for the 30 MCQ questions and you will have the 30 minutes to answer it. Now if we talk about the syllabus for the MCQ questions, then the syllabus will be vary from TR to TR and you will be aware or notified by your trainers in the TR, right? And this is one of the reasons that we are covering the coding section in this video, because the coding section will be same for each Java batch, right? So now let's talk about the coding section, right? So in the coding section we will have one basic Java problem. Sometimes it contains 10 or sometimes it contains 15 marks. So the marks of this problem will also be varies and you will get aware by your trainers. Now in the basic Java problem, mainly they ask by numbers, strings or basic operations. Numbers like finding prime numbers, palindrome, total digit count, these kind of things. And in the string, like also palindrome in a string, then searching of dedicated or particular character or a word, times of this word found in this particular string, contains vowels or not, or these kind of things in the strings as well. And you can be able to have the basic operations like for loop, while loop, when to use where, and these kind of things. And this section has the second problem as well, which is advanced Java problem, which contains sometimes 40 and sometimes 35 marks. And in this problem they generally ask about the core object oriented programming concepts, mainly related to the inheritance and association. So be prepared with it. The next thing that is related to this problem is the collections framework. So you should be aware with the list, map, all the child classes of the list, array list, right? Set is hash set, linked hash set, map is hash map or linked hash map, tree map, and which class will be used in which situation, right? So in total you will have the 50 marks from the coding section. And we will also going to see what should be our strategy or approach to solve these type of problems, because the coding section holds the 50 marks, that is the maximum marks, right? So to experience it, let's solve a mock test of PRA, and the link of this particular test I have attached on the description. So let's go to the link. Then you will redirect to this particular test, right? In this there are two challenges. First contains the 10 marks and second contains the 40 marks. And to solve this both problem, in the coding section you will have 90 minutes. I have forgot to mention it, but in total you will have 90 minutes to solve both the problem. So let's jump to the first problem. So this is the problem. Now let's first maximize it, right? So let's start solving this problem, right? So the question is like, given a sentence consisting of words separated by spaces, your task is to determine how many words contain at least one vowel. Now we know vowels A, I, U. Now return the total count of such words. Now in the input we will have a single string containing a string sentence. Okay, we will have a sentence like this, and in the output format return an integer representing the count of words that contain at least one vowel. Now so our sample output is 7, right? So basically what we will have to do, we have to find the number of words that contains at least one vowel from the particular sentence like this, right? So at first we need a particular sentence, right? So let's remove this IU, remove this line as well. Now for scanning the input from the console, we will going to use the scanner. like this. Now we will take the sentence from the console. So like this. Here for taking the sentence means all the text in a particular line, right? Even after space having it. Now to take all the line, we generally use the sc dot next line, or L is capital here, like this. Now at first what our approach should be, we will going to split all the sentence, okay, by spaces, because all the words are space separated. So for taking each word we have to split the whole sentence by spaces. So in Java there is inbuilt method in the string, that is split method. So we are going to use the split method to split the whole sentence, and it will return the array of string of the particular words or splitted words, right? So we will make a array of strings like words sentence dot split, like this. And in the argument we have to pass a string by which we are going to split. So we will going to give the space in the string, right, like this. So in this array of string, that is words, we will have all the separated word which is separated by the space sequentially, right? So at first with the 0th index we will have this, in 1th index we will have is, in 2th index we will have a, and so on. So we will going to iterate all the words, right? So let's take a string word for each words, like this. Now for each word we have to find if this word contains any vowel or not, right? And we have to maintain a count for this. So for the count we will make a dedicated variable count which is initially b0, like this, right? So let's make a space here. Now it's fine. Now we have to check each word that this word contains any vowel or not, right? And accordingly we have to manipulate or change the count value, right? So for this we have to iterate each character in the particular word, right? So for this we will iterate each character in this word. Now in a string there is also a particular method, that toChar array, which will return the array of character for this particular string, right? And we will going to iterate for the character by character of that particular character array of this string, the word string. Now for each character we are not going to check one by one that it contains a, it contains e and all, right? Because it has 10 condition. So for a shortcut we will use the contains method of a string, right? So it's like we will going to declare all the vowels in a particular string. So a, e, I, o, u and a, e, I, o, u, the upper and the lower cases, right? And we will ask if this contains, okay, this string, if this string contains, right, our particular character. So because contains will accept the string only, so we will make our character to a string by string concatenation, right? It will make our character to a string, or we can use the string dot value of c and all, right? So we are checking our particular character, right? The character of that particular word, like this, like t in the this, and we are checking if this character present inside our vowels of string or not, right? So this contains will check this c is present inside this string or not, and we are comparing each character of that particular word, right? So in any case we found it, okay, in any case if c contains inside this string, like c can be a, e, I, o, u, or in the capital letters, so what we are going to do is we will increment the value of count by 1, like this. And after the incrementation we don't need to continue searching for any vowels, right? Because let's suppose in sample if we got the a in this, so in the sample we don't need to check after this a, because we are checking at least one vowel, right? If we got one vowel, then we don't need to check the after characters, right? So once we got any vowel, right? Once we got any vowel, we increment the count and we said that break the searching of this particular word. Go to the next word, right? We will break this for loop and say continue to the next word. We don't need to check the next characters as well. If we found and if we not found, it will automatically ends the for loop and goes to the next word, right? So if we found, we will increment the count by 1 and break this for loop and continue our word searching, right? Now after iteration for all the words and all, we will simply print the count of the words, right? So in this manner, we will have to print our count in this manner. So count colon space like this. So let's run this program first. So our test case has been passed. Just submit the code. And our test case has been passed, right? So let's go to the second problem. Now let's jump to the problem statement 2, right? So let's maximize it again like this. Have some space. Okay, fine. So in the advanced Java problem, you will going to have a problem like this, right? So here you will have some classes like customers, movie, relationships between the classes, and a business class, that is movie ticket service or some kind of things, right? And you have to make one or two methods like this, right, inside the movie ticket service. So we can use the method for this service, okay, for our dedicated input values like this. Now let's see step by step how do we approach this problem, because this problem feels very confusing and very tricky, right? So you should always follow a dedicated approach to solve this problem, because if we go randomly, then any bug can make more difficulties, right? So at first what we are going to do, we will make the classes first, right? So make the classes. Now we need a list of movie object, right? So before that, let's make the movie object. So we have completed our movie class, okay? Now let's make a list of this movie inside the customer class. So we have completed making the customer and movie object or class, right? So this is our customer class, right? And this is our movie class. Now make sure once you complete writing all the classes, right, at first run the code so that, okay, there is no need to worry. Of course the test case will be going to fail, but this is for ensuring that our whole syntax for creating this class, right, is safe or is correct, right? So we don't need to worry about the syntax of the classes that we have just built, right? So now we have created this, all the instance variables are private, dedicated our constructor and the parameterized constructor, getters and setters, and here's also getters and setters. If you want, you don't have to make any of these, right? You just have to make all the instance variable public or default when you don't write anything, right? The Java will automatically makes it default, right? So for now we have make all the instance variable as private and makes all the dedicated setter, getters and constructors, right? So it's all of your choice, right? If you don't have much amount of time, just skip these parts and remove the private from here, right? So you can directly access or manipulate all the objects of the customer as well as the movie, right? So after creating all the class, first we need to take all the dedicated inputs, right? Once we have completed this, right, then we have to make a particular program to take the input from these things, right? So in the description we can see, okay, let's first skip this business class right now. Okay, we are going to skip this for now. Now comes to the input format. So in the input, read the input of customers, read customer detail in the following order: customer ID, name, age and city, ID, name, age and city, and read the number of movies booked by the customer, read movie details in the following order: movie ID, movie name and ticket price. Repeat to 4 for all the customers. Then read movie name for the find by. Okay, so let's come to the input field. Okay, so we have to read all the details according to our classes, right? So let's make an object of a scanner first, like this, and we don't need the IO, so just remove from it. So now we will going to make a list of customer as per the input. Okay, so there is read the number of customers, so we will going to store the particular number of customers. Okay, so there will be a list of customers like this, right? Now at first line, okay, not this, we are going to take the number of customers we will going to have. So it is like sc dot next int, right? Now a lot of candidates encountered a lot of bugs related to taking the input, right? Because it is not very easy to take all the inputs very sequentially, because there are multiple data types in the input, right? So we can use our the token based scanner methods like this, but after using it, before taking any string, right, any non-token based, right, string, so we have to make sure to clear the buffer, right? And to prevent this buffer cleaning, right, if you don't want to clear or worry about the buffer or like this, you can do one thing, that parsing method. We can use the parsing method for dedicated wrapper classes, right? Like here we are expecting, right, the integer type. Okay, so we will going to wrap integer dot parseInt, right, and taking the whole line as an input. So sc dot next line. like this. So the sc.next line will take the whole line, okay? So we don't need to clean our buffer for taking the next input, but the next line will give a string value of this particular 2. So we will going to parse this string according to the expected data type, right? So for converting the string into the integer, we have a parseInt method in the integer wrapper class, right? Also we have the parse method, okay, all the parse methods according to the particular wrapper classes. In double we have the double dot parse double, in float we will have the float dot parse float, and like this, right? So we are going to use the wrapper classes, and inside the wrapper class we will send the whole line, okay? So in this way we don't need to worry about cleaning the buffer and all type of input things, right? So let's copy this, because we are going to use this sc.next line again and again, right? So let's iterate over n times. Now in each iteration we will have the first consumer ID, right? So before taking any input, let's make a customer is equal to new customer, a customer object, right? Now what we are going to do is, we know first data that we are going to take is the customer ID, which will be integer, right? So we are going to set customer dot set ID, okay, and inside it we are taking the input like this, but because this is an integer, we have to wrap the whole string into the integer like this, okay. Now similarly we will going to take the input for other fields as well, like after this we will going to have a name, right? So we will set the name and passing this, because it already takes a string, so we don't need to parse it. Then again customer dot set age, okay, and in this again we need to pass this, okay. So it will be fine if we copy this like this, customer dot set city, and in this we will going to pass this like this. Now after taking the input Delhi, right, we will going to have the number of movie tickets, right, the number of movies we are going to have, so that we can able to take the number of movie details, okay, the number of movies detail inside your list, and we can take the whole list inside the customer, okay. So in the customer we can see here is a details of list of movies, okay. So taking the list of movie details, we first have to make a list movies, right? Now at first it is empty like this. Now we are going to take this input, okay, how many movies we will going to have, okay. So let's take in another variable m, and because it is also an integer, we are going to copy this and paste over here, right? Now again iterate the m times. In this we will going to have the movie details, right? So make an object of movie as well like this. Now then we are going to take the movie details one by one, right? Like the first is the movie ID, then movie name and the movie price, right? Then again movie ID, movie name and movie price like this. So at first we will going to take the movie ID, right? So movie dot set ID, and because it is also an integer, so we will going to paste this, right? So we have taken the movie ID. Now movie dot set name. Now In this we are going to take sc.next line. Now again copy this. Then we're going to set the price of the movie, and it is double dot parse double, and inside it we're going to pass the sc.next line like this. So now we will have all the details for a particular movie like 301 Avatar and 250.5. Now once we have all the details, we have to store this movie object inside this movies list, right? So that we will have all the details of that movie object in here, in this movies. So we will simply add the movie. We will simply add the movie inside the movies list, this list. Now this process will be going m times. If the m is 2, then we will going to take the movie details 2 times. So first we will take this, add this object, add the particular movie object with these details inside the movies list. Then again this while loop continues. It will make a new movie, take other 3 details of the other movie, it is like 302 Inception and 300, and add the movie object in the movies list. Once the 2 times is over like this, from here we will again continue after the while. After taking all the list of movies, what we will going to do, we will add these movies list to the customer's movie list. So customer dot set movies, and we're going to pass our movies list like this. Now this customer will have all the details that is getting from the input for the particular customer for this. Now we again have to add this customer as well to this customers list. So customers dot add this particular customer like this. Now this will also repeat n times, n number of times. Here the n is also 2, right? So this while loop will iterate 2 times. So we will have the 2 customer details, 2 customer object inside this customer list. After this we will going to have the some more inputs, like we can see in the input format, repeat the step 2 for all customers, 2 to 4 for all customers. Now after reading all the customer details, read the movie name for the particular method and consumer ID for the particular method. First we will going to read the movie name. So like this, and we will have the customer ID. Here also we will going to take this. Now once you took all the input, let's first check and verify is there any exception or not. So there is an exception. In which line? In Java 12, 14 and 34. 12, then 14 and line 34. So we again have some exceptions, like m is small in Java 7 line 17. M is small in the 17th line. That is correct. And in this also we have written a typo. Never worries, again run it. So now we have no any errors for getting all the inputs, right? So it is most recommend that you try to run the program once you written any particular logic. Like when we created our class, customer and movie, we hit the run button so that we can able to figure out if there any error inside our program that we have written right there, right? Now once we have taken all the input, we again check by running that if there is any problem inside our program or not, right? Once we got any error on a particular section, at least we would able to know in which section we are getting the error, right? So once you taken all the input, okay, we have created all the classes, we have taken all the input. Now let's make the service class, right? So here the business class is there. So in this business class, create a business class named movie ticket service. So let's make a class here like this, right? In this, the first method is find customers by movie name. So let's make like this, right? Now we have the method signature. Okay, so in the return type, we have to return the list of customer like this, right? Now in the parameter, we will have the list of customers and string movie name like this. Now when we see the description, this method accepts a list of customer object and a movie name that we have already taken. It should return a list of customers, okay, who have booked tickets for a specific movie. Print the name of all the customers returned. Okay. Now we have to return all the list of customers who have this movie name inside their movie object, right? So all the customers have the list of movies, right? And in the movie object, okay, in the movie class, we have the name of the movie. So we have to match all the movie names, okay, inside a particular customer, that it is matching or not. So we will be comparing the movie names inside each movie of the list of the movies inside the customer, right? So at first we are going to iterate for customer in customers like this. So we will going to iterate all the customers one by one, okay? And in the customer there is a list of movies object, right? List of movies. So we will going to iterate this list of movies as well. So for like this, right? We are iterating each movie object inside the customer's movie, the list of movies object, right? So for each movie, okay, of this customer's list of movies, for each movie we will going to compare the movie name, okay? So the movie dot get name, okay, and we will going to compare equals ignore case with our required movie name. If this happens, okay, if the movie name, we will got the movie name, right? Then we have to make a list of movies like this, and we will add that customer object. Okay, we have to make the customer, not movies. Okay, so we will have to make the list of customers and have to add all the customer on that particular list for which we are going to iterate the movie, right? So in any case in which movie hits, okay, a movie name will be equal to the required movie name, we will going to store the customer in the customers list. So customers dot add our particular customer. Once we got our customer, now we don't need to further scan the other movies as well, right? Once we got our dedicated movie name, once we got our customers in the customers list, now we will going to break the iteration for this. We are not going to scan or iterate the further movies list because we don't need, right? And if we are going to do that, we are getting the wrong or inconsistent data, because a customer can have the multiple movies having the same name. Okay, once we got the first movie with this name, we had add that customer, right? Now once again, if we are not stopping this, then again for the other movie having the same name, then this if condition again get true, because that movie name is also is the same. It means if a customer have the multiple movies with the same name, the customer will be get added in the list again and again if we don't put the break here, right? So once we got our customer, we will going to break the loop for traversing the other movies, okay, for this customer. Now after breaking this for loop, the iteration continues for the next customer. Okay, now we are going to fetch the movie details or these details for the next customer. Okay, therefore this break is important. Now once we got our customers, we will return the customers, but before returning the customers, we will going to check is this empty or not. Empty. Okay, if this is empty, our customers list is empty, we will returning the null, not the empty list. Okay, and if it is not, then we will returning the customers like this. Simple, right? Let's check the syntax error, if there is any syntax error or not. Run the code. So there is a syntax error. Okay, customers. Okay, we have the multiple customers. Okay, we have already the customers. We don't make the two variables with the same name, so let's make it response and response like this. Okay, now again check. So okay, our program has been run. Now once we have completed this method, okay, let's check this method, it is giving the right output or not. So for using this method, because this is in the other class, we have to make an object here. The movie ticket service, let's call it service new, copy the name like this, and in the response we will going to have the list of customer. Let's call it response 1, and from the service we're going to call this method. Okay, and passing all the values in the attribute like this. Okay, so let's first check how many customers we are going to have, right? So okay, now we maybe encounter an error because for the second test case there is null value. Okay, just run the code. Okay, this is working. Wrong answer. Okay, two objects are there as expected, but here we got an null pointer exception because there is no any matching customer, so our method returns the null value. Okay, this is working right now, so our response is good. Now response 1 is null, then we're going to print system.out.println and just copy the text from here. Just remove these lines and paste over here. Now if it is not null, means we have the list of customers, right? So we will going to show all the details according to the expected output. So it is like, first line is system.out.println, okay, and customers who booked ticket for Avatar movies, where it is this. Now this Avatar movies, okay, this Avatar movie is the movie name, okay. So let's remove it and pass the variable here like this, right? We are copying and pasting because this text, okay, inside this double quote or the output is case sensitive, okay. These all texts are the case sensitive text. Therefore instead of writing, you can copy or paste, okay, not from here but from the output result after running your program, right? Now once we printed this, we have to print all the names of the customer like this. So for all the customer, in response 1, we have to print the name like this, right? Now after this, we also have to print the total ticket price for Avatar movie, okay. So for this, we can make a dedicated method for calculating the total price, right? So even it is not written in the okay, in the description or the problem statement, we can have our own method. So it will return a double value, that is the total price, and make my own method name like find the total ticket, find total ticket price, right? And we will having the list of customers like this, and we will calling this method from our list of customers which already have the ticket for the Avatar, right? So we again have to iterate all over these, okay. We have to do all these things. Let's do all these things again, right? So let's copy this code and paste over here, because we are going to iterate each customer and we also going to iterate each movies of that particular customer. But in this case, okay, we are not going to do the total from here, because once we added the customer, we are going to break it. So in the case of movie, a customer can have multiple same movies, okay. Like in this case, if it is Avatar, then a customer have multiple movie object with the same name Avatar. Now in this case, we are going to iterate the first movie name Avatar and going to break the iteration, right? But we don't have to do this for calculating the total, for the total price of movies, right? So we have to calculate each price or each movie price which is Avatar, right? So for this, we are going to make our own method, right, passing the list of customers, and we are going to iterate all over here. But in this case, we will have the double total is equal to 0, right? Now in this movie, if the name is the same, okay, we have to also pass the movie name as well. So string movie name. Now if we are getting the movie name equals to required movie name, then we will going to add the total plus is equal to, okay, then movie dot get price like this. We are not going to break once the movie is got from any movie object from the list of the customer, list of the movies, okay, inside the customer. So after this, we are going to return the total like this. Now let's use this method, okay, here. After iterating or after printing all the customer names, okay, we're going to print the system dot out dot print ln, and we're going to copy the text. Okay, and going to paste over here, plus, and here we will asking for the total, like this, and inside it we will going to pass the response one, okay, and the movie name. So this movie name, like this, right? Now let's arrange it, okay, and like this, and this also. Okay, we are printing first this, then we are printing the name of each customer of that particular response, and after this we are going to print the total ticket price for the, not avatar, the movie name, movie, okay, for the particular movie is, we are going to calculate the total, right? Now if the movie is not exist in the customer, then this will, our first method will give null, and according to this we are going to print this. So if we are going in the else part, means at least one movie is there, okay, therefore we are not going to check the 0 or something. So in this way we are solved the first method or the first response. Okay, we cannot directly call service dot, like this, right? Here we can see our first response is correct, right? First method response is correct. Now we have to print this one. So for this we have the another method, okay. So in this we have another method. So let's make the another method inside the movie ticket service, right? So in this, the method signature is int, then count movies booked by customer, okay, then list of customers and the customer ID, like this. Now this method accepts a list of customer object, right, and a customer ID, and it should return the number of movie tickets booked by the given customer, okay. We have to only return the number of the movies booked, okay, movies for this particular customer ID, okay. It should return the number of movie tickets booked by the given customer, okay. Now first let's iterate all over the customer in customers, like this, okay. Now we will going to check or compare the customer ID for each customer, right? So each customer dot get ID, if it is equal to our customer ID, like this, then we will simply return, okay, the customer dot get movies, okay, dot size, the number of movies that the customer had booked, right? So we retrieve the number of movies from the customer, the list of the movies, and we will returning the size of that particular list, okay. If this for loop ended and we don't find our customer, okay, we will simply return 0, like this, right? Now if maybe it may be there, if no customers are found, print no matching customers found, okay. So we will going to write here, at first take the response to as integer, service dot this method name, and passing the customers and our customer ID like this. Okay, if our response to is 0, then we will going to print what? No matching customers found. So is it there in? Okay, it is not there. We have to write manually. So it is no, like this, right? From the second method, no matching customers found. Write it very carefully because this is case sensitive. Again, I am telling you. Or we have any response. Okay, if we have any response, then we have to write or we have to print like this. So let's copy it. Okay, let's copy it, and we're going to out.println and paste over here like this. Now change the values from here. The customer ID will be our customer ID. Okay, and the value will be our given value. So at last, what was that? The response to, like this. Okay, now once we are going to run the code again, then we can see, okay, we have able to pass the sample test cases. Now submit the code. Yes, submit my code, and we have passed this test cases. Now in this problem, okay, in this problem we have make, okay, view result. Okay, in this solution for that particular problem, we have make the dedicated these things, okay, the private and the constructors and all the setter getters. But if you have a time constraint, you don't have to do that. Okay, instead of setter or getter method, we can directly access, okay, with these values with the help of the object. Like instead of this customer.setID, we can do customer.id is equal to and this value, passing this value like a variable, right? Because we have make a setter, therefore we have called the setter method. Or if we don't want to use the setter method, we can use directly the particular variable, okay, inside the object. So for this we don't have to write here private. If it is private, we cannot do that. So for doing this, directly assign the value on that particular ID, we have to remove the private and we don't need these things. Okay. Then the second thing is, if you are well known about the scanner classes or scanner methods, where to clean the buffer or not, you can use your own approach, that is sc.next int, sc.next double. But for now, in general, to not get any type of error while getting the input, we are using the parser methods here, okay, for each wrapper class. So for integer, it has integer.parseInt, double it has double.parseDouble and all, right? So that we don't have to clean our buffer again and again, right? Because we are inside a loop. Therefore, for the sake of simplicity and getting the input consistently and correctly, we have used the parser methods, right? It may look like there is a lot of code we have to write again and again, but it is better than getting any error and you have to give your time on the test to fix those problems. And for each step, you should be able to write and run the code again and again, right? So that you can fix the problem instantly. Okay, don't do that writing all the code once and at last you are going to run the program. In that case, you will not be able to have enough time to debug your code, right? So it's better when you are writing a particular logic, let's first check the logic, okay, then move forward. So that's all from my side. All the best for your PRA exam and hope you perform well. If you have any type of doubt, make sure to write in the comment section, and whenever I got that comment, I'll reply for sure. If you find this video helpful, make sure to like this video and subscribe the channel. So meet you in the next video. Till then, keep learning and happy coding. Thank you.